Imagine you're in a place so vast it could swallow up Texas, California, and Montana and still not be full. 665,400 square miles. Only 1 million people live. Inside that space, over 100,000 glaciers, 34,000 miles of coastline, and millions of lakes. In parts of Alaska, the sun disappears for over 60 days, then refuses to set for weeks, like it forgot how clocks work. Some towns get supplies once a year. Some can't be reached by road at all. A land of staggering wealth, with rivers of oil flowing beneath its surface and forests stretching to the horizon. A place that not only welcomes new residents, but literally pays them to stay. But the question this map can't answer: how does a place this huge and this rich become one of the hardest places on Earth to actually live? Fact 1. Alaska is so big, most of it has no roads. When people learn about the sheer size of Alaska, the first thing that comes to mind is long drives. Unfortunately, the road is considered a luxury here. Roughly 80% of Alaskan communities are not connected to the road system. No highways, no back roads, no just take a detour. If you live there, your options are a plane, a boat, or winter ice roads. That means groceries, mail, fuel, even doctors, everything arrives by air or sea. In Alaska, a small airplane isn't a luxury, it's a minivan. Fact 2. Groceries don't arrive weekly, they arrive yearly. In parts of Alaska, shopping is not a routine, it's a strategic operation. Some villages receive one major supply shipment per year, delivered by barge before rivers freeze solid. Miss that window, and that's it. No resupply, no restock, no Amazon Prime panic buying to fix mistakes. People plan food, fuel, diapers, and toilet paper months in advance. Or you wait until next year. In Alaska, forgetting groceries isn't inconvenient, it's educational. Do all mistakes have to be paid for with money? No, with time. Better luck next time. Fact 3. Alaska pays you to come and live there? Yes, you heard that right. It's called the Permanent Fund Dividend, funded by oil revenue. Every man, woman, and child gets a check, sometimes over $1,000 per person. Sounds appealing, doesn't it? The truth will shock you until you realize milk can cost $8 to $12 a gallon, and basic groceries can run 5 times higher than the mainland. That check doesn't make you rich. It helps you break even. In Alaska, the government pays you to stay. You pay the rest in food prices and sanity. Fact 4. A gallon of milk can cost more than a fast food meal. In much of Alaska, grocery prices aren't a little higher. They're a different reality. In remote communities, a gallon of milk regularly hits $8 to $12. Fresh fruit, easily double mainland prices. Frozen food costs less, not because it's cheaper, but because it survives the trip. Everything flies in, or ships in. Therefore, weather decides fuel prices. Fuel prices decide food prices. That's understandable, isn't it? Fact 5. You can live in one building for years without ever having to go outside. Whittier, Alaska looks normal. Until you realize you can find anything here. Around 250 residents share one 14-story structure called Begich Towers. Inside, apartments, a grocery store, a post office, city offices, even a church. You can go to work, school, and buy milk without going outside. Or you could fly to school, if you want. When winter storms hit and winds come off the glacier, leaving the building isn't brave, it's unnecessary. In Alaska, a community isn't a neighborhood, it's an elevator. Fact 6. Winter darkness messes with your brain. In Utqiagvik, the northernmost town in the US, the sun sets in November, of the 10, and doesn't rise again for over 60 days. This is not the beginning of a fairy tale. It's biological. This leads to a disruption of the sleep cycle. Energy drops. Seasonal depression. Doctors recommend light therapy, strict routines, and community events just to keep people balanced. Locals adapt. Outsiders struggle. And when the sun finally returns, people celebrate like it's a holiday. Because in Alaska, sunlight isn't scenery. It's medicine. Fact 7. Summer sunlight can be just as brutal. Sometimes we wait and wait, but the sun doesn't come. Sometimes people even want to turn it off as quickly as possible. In summer, parts of the state get 20 to 24 hours of daylight for weeks. Sounds fun, until no one can sleep. Kids stay awake. Adults lose track of time. Curtains become survival gear. The human body wasn't built for endless light. Melatonin drops. Sleep schedules collapse. Locals tape foil over windows. Visitors joke at first, then they couldn't laugh anymore. In Alaska, even summer asks something from you. Fact 8. Emergency help may be hundreds of miles away. In much of Alaska, calling 911 doesn't mean help is nearby. It means a plane is being considered. Medical emergencies often require air evacuation, sometimes hundreds of miles, weather permitting. Bad visibility, high winds, snow, you wait. There are towns without hospitals, some without doctors. Pregnant women are flown out weeks before due dates, just in case. Here, distance isn't measured in miles. It's measured in hours, fuel, and whether the sky cooperates. Fact 9. You never know where you'll be tomorrow. In large parts of Alaska, the problem isn't what you build, it's what you build on. Permafrost SA ground frozen year-round used to be solid. Now it thaws, refreezes, and shifts. Homes tilt, foundations crack, roads ripple like melted asphalt. Entire buildings have to sit on adjustable stilts just to stay level. Maintenance jobs never be unemployed. In most places, land is stable. But in Alaska, the ground itself is negotiating with gravity, and nobody can predict where it will go. Fact 10. Alaska is one of the state's highest violent crime rates in the US. This surprises people, and it shouldn't. Alaska consistently ranks near the top in violent crime, especially assault. Not because it's wild, but because it's isolated. Long winters, alcohol abuse, limited mental health services, few escape options. When things go wrong, there's nowhere to go and no one nearby. Small communities magnify everything. Conflict, addiction, violence. The wilderness isn't the most dangerous thing in Alaska. Sometimes, it's what isolation does to people. Fact 11. You don't commute, you calculate survival. Going to work in Alaska isn't just checking traffic. You check weather, daylight, fuel, temperature, and wildlife. Miss one variable, and your day changes fast. Snowstorms shut down flights. Ice closes roads. Moose block highways like moving walls. Being late isn't rude. Sometimes it turns out to be a stroke of luck. In winter, a short drive without preparation can turn dangerous. Here, commuting isn't routine, it's risk management. Fact 12. Wildlife isn't a postcard, it's a neighbor. In Alaska, animals aren't something you visit. They live next door. Moose wander into yards. Bears break into trash sheds. There's an actual law against waking a sleeping bear because people tried. Kids learn wildlife safety early. Adults carry deterrents, not souvenirs. Ignoring animals isn't bravery. It's stupidity. This isn't nature as background scenery. It's nature with right-of-way. FACT 13. The job market is narrow, and it doesn't forgive mistakes. Alaska doesn't offer many backup plans. The economy is heavily concentrated. Oil and gas, government jobs, fishing, logistics, and basic services. Outside of that, options thin out fast. If your career doesn't fit the local structure, finding stable long-term work becomes difficult. Lose a job in Anchorage and you might recover. Lose one in a small town and there may be nowhere else to go. This isn't about ambition or effort, it's about limited pathways. Alaska rewards the right skills and quietly forces everyone else to leave. Fact 14. Leaving Alaska is easier than staying. Most people don't build a lifetime in Alaska. They arrive with a plan, a contract, a season, a paycheck, an adventure, and then the cost shows up. Not just money, but distance, darkness, isolation, and the feeling of being cut off from the rest of the world. Flights south feel less like quitting and more like relief. Not because Alaska rejected them, but because it stopped pretending to be easy. Alaska doesn't trap people. It quietly lets them decide. Those who stay aren't here by accident. They chose endurance over convenience and accepted the trade. Fact 15. Alaska isn't empty because it's poor. Alaska is not lacking money, land, or resources. Oil flows beneath the tundra. Fish fill the seas. The state even sends residents a yearly check just for staying. Yet, Alaska remains one of the least populated places in America. Because living here demands more than income. It demands mental endurance, physical readiness, and comfort with isolation. It demands planning for emergencies, darkness, distance, and uncertainty. The land does not adapt to you. You adapt to it, or you leave. Alaska isn't empty because it offers nothing. It's empty because it asks for everything. Alaska isn't a failure. And it isn't forgotten. It is still fulfilling nature's mission, to choose those who are best suited, like adventure and exploration. This is a place that pays you to stay, yet still watches many leaves. Not because they were weak, but because Alaska asks for things most places don't. It asks for patience when help is far away, calm when nature ignores your plans, and resilience when isolation stops feeling romantic. For some, that trade is worth it. For others, it isn't. And neither choice is wrong. Alaska doesn't promise comfort. It offers honesty. About distance, about limits, about what happens when geography, economy, and human psychology collide. So the real question isn't why people leave Alaska. It's why anyone stays. And if you're honest with yourself, would you? Tell me in the comments. Could you live here for 5 years, or would one winter be enough? If this video helped you see Alaska differently, like and subscribe, because the next map we open might challenge even more assumptions.